Backwards Moon, Chapter 20. They were flying back to the village when Bracken's leg began to hurt again. "It throbs," she said as they landed on the commons. She got shakily off her broom. Rose came down her front steps and hurried over. "What's wrong?" she asked. Scabiosa came running from her cottage. "My leg," said Bracken. "I was shot by hunters. It seemed completely healed, but now it's starting to hurt again." "The fading," gasped Rose. "It could be a symptom of the fading." "But it can't be," said Nettle. "Her spark is still strong." "Show me," said Rose. Bracken held up her finger spark. "It looks pale," said Scabiosa. "Rose, do you think it looks pale?" Rose stepped forward and picked up a fold of Bracken's dress. She held it to the sunlight, turning it this way and that. "Has your pocket ever felt heavy?" "Once," said Bracken, "but it went away. I think I was only imagining it." "Have you heard a little whining, like a gnat in your ears?" asked Rose. "Yes," said Bracken, "but it went away." "Bracken," said Rose urgently, "did you do much magic in the city? Because if you did, it would aggravate the fading. It would sap your strength and make you more vulnerable." "I did several spells," whispered Bracken. "Scabiosa, call the others," said Rose. Scabiosa ran, calling out their names. "Nettle," said Rose, "did you do spells in the city?" "Only 2, stammered Nettle, "and they didn't work very well. 3, she added, remembering the one in the hall, the one that Bracken had taught her for finding lost things. "Did any of those things happen to you? The whining, the heavy pocket, the trouble flying?" "No," said Nettle, "never." "Good," said Rose grimly. "Now listen. If we are to go, we must go now. And Nettle, you must learn the spell to take us through. Learn it now so you will be ready the instant we get there." Trembling, Bracken pulled the stone from her pocket. "It's a simple one." "Open," said Rose, putting her hand on the stone. "Ah, yes," she said, peering into the stone. Nettle read the spell. Then she practiced it, whispering it to herself over and over again. "Do you have it?" asked Rose. "Yes," said Nettle, but she felt sick with dread. "And what if the necklace doesn't work?" said a voice in her head. "What if the wishes are used up?" There was no time to sing the "Fare thee well and merry be, and someday maybe we will meet again" song. No time for the parting tears or the one last look around. "Fading has begun on Bracken. It's Nettle who must wish us through," said Scabiosa to the terrified circle around them. "Everyone who wants to go, join hands, now." Nettle clutched Bracken's hand on one side, Rose's on the other. Aunt Iris and Scabiosa and Reed and Sedge clasped hands. The circle of those who were leaving was complete. "Fare thee well and merry be," said Rose to the rest. Touch the necklace," she said to Nettle. "Then take my hand again, quick, and wish." Nettle wished. There was a long, sickening pause. "It's not working," moaned Bracken. "The wishes were all gone." And then the sky and the mountains and all their old life whirled around and around. It was night again, suddenly, for wishing here and there seemed to be something to time. The stars spun and faded, and the mountain quiet became the low roar of the city. "So the wishes were not all gone," sang a voice in Nettle's head. Then the bitter, magic smell of nightshade hung all around them. They were standing beneath the great oak. Dee and Anna were waiting. "We've been watching for you," said Dee. "Oh!" said Nettle, feeling both sad and happy. But there was no time at all. Rose handed her the stone. In a rush of words, she said the very simple spell. What appeared next in the oak tree's furrowed trunk was a black hole, a darkness, a void. But before Nettle had time to be afraid, before she had time to think, Rose stepped toward it. She held up her finger, made a spark, and stepped into the darkness. One horrible second went by, and then, deep in darkness, Rose's spark glimmered. "Go!" cried Scabiosa, guiding Bracken toward the trunk. Bracken raised her finger spark, stepped through, and her spark too appeared, strong and blue. One after another they went through the door until only Nettle was left.